And it is,
It is 6 o'clock.
we are recording and we're at 6 o'clock, so.
All right, let's call the meeting of the City of Tonawanda Council to order. Please call the roll.
Newman,
Here.
Kammerdeiner,
Here.
Rautenstrauch,
Here.
Mileham,
Here.
Cook.
Sure. Tim, is everybody in from the room?
Everyone is in from the waiting room.
Perfect.
And everyone is muted.
Okay, great. How's everybody doing?
Doing all right.
Good.
Good.
All right, let's go through the agenda. All right, minutes.
I can take them, Madam President.
Kammerdeiner. Bills.
I can take them, Madam President.
All right, Mileham. Any questions on them?
I had a couple questions, but I'm good after reading them through.
Okay.
Yeah, it was all seemed up and up.
I did have a question and I called Bill prior to our meeting. Page 8 of our register, you see a bunch of lawn mowing services. So Bill explained that. But Bill, I didn't know if you wanted to chime in on it any further. But pages 8 and 9, those addresses, those were
I was
addresses.
just up and down. I think when we discussed, we do, when people don't keep their properties up, we have a service that comes in and actually cuts it. And then what we do is we send out those bills to the property owners, and if the people don't pay the bills, they get added to the city tax bill the following year. So in this case, those are the addresses that were cut per orders from the building department. And then these charges will be added on to their, they will be billed, and if they don't pay, they'll be added onto their tax bills. So that is all covered. It will end up coming back to the city at some point or another, but that's when people don't take care of their properties, so.
All right, perfect. Any other questions on it? All right, resolution 3, special event, Ride for Roswell.
I'll take it.
Sean? And then resolution 4, it's an amendment to our rules of order, just basically saying that, you know, we're going to start to read the resolutions unless we waive them, waive a resolution here and there, but just in an effort to be transparent, not everybody may have agendas at their disposal, especially since we're meeting virtually. I think it might be easier. And Dave, you actually brought up a point where perhaps we can do like a double screen.
Yes.
Where we can show.
I would need to work with Mr. Casso to get the password for Zoom. There's a way that we can set it up. It's in the settings of Zoom, and we can, it would be essentially half the screen would be all the participants of the meeting, and the other half, excuse me, the other half of the screen would be the agenda that could be read along. And as we're going through the agenda, you can actually scroll the screen up so that, you know, we would have control of, you know, just to make sure everybody's looking at the right spot. So it's something I can work on with Mr. Casso.
Perfect. Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, that'd be great. Council on this?
Sure.
Perfect. Okay, and then our budget.
Should we do council on that, or?
I think we should.
We can do council, yeah, great idea. Everybody go with it?
Yeah.
Okay. Comments on it, questions? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to make a comment, and maybe it's better served, as we do the formal, and I'll reiterate it then. I think there was some questions or some concerns from department heads and, from our parks director as well, in regards to some of the cuts. I just want to reiterate that we're not actually cutting the position per se for the senior parks director. That was put into a contingency fund. I verified that with Bill earlier today. And it's in the hopes that we're looking at things coming back around, or things don't go completely sideways over the next couple of months. And again, I'll reiterate again in the formal. I think it's important to note with the department heads, we've looked at this. We've frozen their pay raises this year. I've said it before. It pains me to even suggest this. I think it's a hard decision for all of us to move forward with something like that. The department heads have done an amazing job over the past few months during this whole COVID. I think we need to make a point of letting them know that. Through this whole process, they've saved jobs, they've maintained our services, they kept our workers healthy. Overall, they're taking the brunt of this because of the contracts, because there's no concessions. It's important to note the city workers owe the department heads a debt of gratitude for where they've gotten us this year. It's our hope that this is a temporary plan. At its most optimistic, we're looking at $700,000 that the general fund is going to cover this year. A lot of unknowns next year, potentially $400,000 in state aid that we won't be getting. Hopefully a lot of this stuff will come through, but again, they're unknowns. We've got to plan for the worst. I just want to, send it out there to our department heads that this, again, is no reflection on the job that they've done. They've done an amazing job. Plead with them, implore them to please stick with us as we right the ship over the next year. We appreciate the work that they've done, the services that they've done. And I think our city workers appreciate the fact that we kept people healthy. We kept people working for the most part. We've kept people healthy, and the residents appreciate that we maintain the services. Coming from private industry, there's been many years where I think all of us have not got raises, have not got bonuses through the course of the year because things weren't that good. And it's similar to that. We've all busted our humps and done a great job for the good of our company, and we appreciate them doing this for the good of our city as a whole, is for the good of our residents. And the unfortunate part of it is we need to find a cut and right the ship over the next year. And again, I hope this is a temporary situation, and if possible, something changes over the year. Perhaps we can look into it. I also suggest maybe we look into different ways to reward them for the job that they've done, different ways to incentivize. Possibly look at different ways we can do things. And I think that's up to us, up to the mayor's office, to kind of approach it from another angle as we move forward with this. It's a big deal that we faced a lot of this year. I think a lot of great work was done. I think the council, the cuts that we've made back in March, the savings that we found there have really saved us going into the next year, where we're not taking a huge bite. We're not passing that on to our residents. I hope we can continue that. And again, I implore our department heads to stick with us, to please keep working, to please keep going for the better of our city, for the better of our residents. And that was all I really wanted to say on that. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but this budget doesn't call for the elimination or reduction of any positions.
No, not in its entirety.
Right. All right. Let's go around the room. Tom?
Tom is on mute. Tom, you're on mute.
Sorry,
Oh.
I thought I unmuted it. I have nothing, Madam President. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Tom. Dawn?
I just wanted to let you guys know I did send you an email. It's a wonderful night. They've decided to postpone it this year due to the rapid numbers rising for COVID-19. They still will be doing the toy drive, which is very much needed. So the bins will be out, I believe, on the 25th of November on Main Street, some of the businesses there, City Hall. So, you know, they need toys, drop it off for the Salvation Army. That's really all I have, other than I'm going to be working with Jim real quick on a resolution for the rezoning that the LDC is going to be putting in place. So hopefully we can have that by next meeting in December. All I
Okay,
have.
thanks, Dawn. Now, It's a Wonderful Night, is it postponed or canceled? Did they change?
It's canceled.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, it's canceled for this year, but it hopefully will be back next year, bigger and
Okay.
better.
okay, perfect. All right, Sean?
I kind of said what I did about the budget cuts. You know, I do want to, you know, we Elmwood Park had an issue with the electricity outage. Yesterday we came back up almost 24 hours without it. I do want to thank the corporate lead from National Grid that was helpful to us. I want to thank the mayor's office, you know, Chuck Gilbert, the mayor's assistant, for you know, putting some pressure on their side to make 11:30 p.m. finish time a 4:45 time. You know, it really saved a lot of people. They were going through a lot. You know, I am going to ask, you know, for residents, for our mayor's office, to see if we can do something to, you know, push National Grid to take care of some of the trees that are affecting the lines. I think I look at this, and from some of the feedback I get from our residents, some of this could have been preventable. You know, if these were maintained. I understand in my area it was possibly 30 customers that were affected, is what they've been told. It was 39 people that were out of electricity for almost 24 hours. You know, I don't know what courses we need to go to. If I, you know, implore the mayor's office to keep up on it, residents to continue to keep up on it, and you know, I plan to follow up as well with National Grid. I ask if anybody else has any issues, any of our residents, to reach out to us, you know, so we can kind of advocate for you on this, and you know, hope they can take preventative measures rather than be reactive to things and have people out of electricity for a couple of days. Beyond that, that's the only major issue in the past week. Thank you.
Awesome. Dave?
I have a petition that was delivered to me from the residents in the Murray Terrace area. They abut their backyards abut where the new dog kennel is going to go. It basically says, you know, we adamantly oppose the operation of this business in our neighborhood. I've had some lengthy conversations with them about the process and how 9 people showed up, or 10 people showed up from the neighborhood, 9 expressing concern, and the variance board still went ahead with it. I'm going to be delivering the petition to the clerk this week. I think it's something that we need to look at again. They have some very legitimate concerns about the amount of animals that are going to be in that location at one time. Many of these neighbors have dogs of their own, and they're concerned of the dogs being, you know, having unfamiliar dogs in the backyard. I'm not a dog expert, but apparently that's a big thing. They're also concerned about the number up to 45 dogs. People have put in, you know, thousands of dollars of landscaping in their backyard, and they're concerned about skunks and odors from potential not cleaning up. So they'd like a redo, or they'd like to come in and talk to somebody. So I will be delivering that petition in shortly. Like I said, when I get some free time, probably tomorrow at some point. But other than that, that's all I have. Thank you for your time.
Great, thanks. Thanks, Dave. Mayor?
Thank you, Madam President. The only thing I have for non-executive is had a really good conversation yesterday with Dave Stapleton and Bill Toon of David Holmes. We've instructed them, their lawyers, to reach out to RUA to start the closing process. We believe that they have a a fix for the water lines, to remove the water lines from the street and put them into the right of way on the president's property, because the water authority wanted separate tap in for each home, and that would have required digging up the road every time that they needed to build a new house. So we believe that we've found a happy medium to moving the water line into the right of way. They can tap in from there without disturbing the street. Their architect is working on adjusting those plans to fit that idea, and they'll be submitting them to the water authority for final sign off. But like I said, we've instructed their attorneys to work with our attorneys to start proceeding down the path of closing of the property.
Perfect. That's good news.
It's fantastic.
All right, perfect. Anything else?
That's it, Madam President.
All right, I'm going to make a motion to go into executive session for personnel of particular persons, as well as contract negotiations and legal, potential legal. What's that?
It's litigation, yes.
Litigation. Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second it, Madam President.
Second by Don Kammerdeiner. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Jenna, if you could give me a minute to put everybody in the waiting room. So again.
And then pause the recording.
Pause the recording, yep. So just again, to let everyone know, it's in the Zoom meeting, we'll be moving you to the waiting room. And as soon as the executive is over, we'll be readmitting you back to the meeting. Okay, so right now I have myself, Don, Jenna, Mike, Sean, Dave, Rick, Brittany, Tom, and Bill Reece in the executive.
Right.
And I'm pausing the meeting right now. Okay, Madam President, everyone has been brought back in from the waiting room, back to the Zoom meeting.
Okay, welcome back. There was an email sent yesterday, I believe. Bill, were we able to find money for toner?
She did not come to my office to discuss it. I'm still hoping tomorrow.
Okay,
We'll find it. It's there.
okay, perfect.
And I
Okay.
still need Lieutenant Sheehan to tell me the right toner cartridge.
Okay. All right, perfect. Well, we'll get that loophole closed up. Did anybody have anything else before? Okay. So typically with our virtual sessions, after our formal, we would start, or informal, we go into our formal. We did post that our formal would begin at 7. So Bill, if we could just pause the recording and we'll call the meeting to order at 7. So we'll regroup at 7. Take a little break.
Okay, I will go ahead and pause the meeting and put everyone into the waiting room.
Perfect.
Again, we will resume the formal meeting at 7, like Council President mentioned, and we'll take a break.
That you can put peanut butter on?
Oh, they do?
Yes.
Oh, I need to find those.
Aren't those mouse traps?
No.
Seems kind of
It's a
mean.
little big for one of those.
Okay, Jenna, Madam President, everyone has been readmitted from the waiting room.
Okay, perfect. All right, it's 7 o'clock and I see you're recording. Let's call the meeting of the City of Tonawanda Council to order. Please call the roll.
Newman,
Here.
Kammerdeiner,
Here,
Rautenstrauch,
Here.
Mileham,
Here,
Cook.
Here, please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag.
Flag,
United
The United States of America and
and
to the republic for which it
which it
stands,
stands, one nation,
nation,
Under
under
God,
God,
indivisible, with
liberty
liberty and justice for all.
If we could just have a silent prayer. All right, thank you. Okay, communications from city officials and correspondents have also been ordered and filed. We are not going into executive session. So at this time, we'll now take comments by the public on the resolutions. If you wish to address the council on the resolutions, you can unmute yourself. Any comments on the resolutions? Last call. Any comments on the resolutions? I see we have a resident that joined us. We're taking comments by the council on the resolutions. So if anyone wishes to address the council on the resolutions, you can do so right now. Going once, twice. Okay, let's roll.
Okay, resolution number 1 by Councilmember Kammerdeiner. Resolved that common council minutes from November 3rd, 2020 be accepted as filed.
Do we have a second?
I'll second, Madam President.
Second by Mr. Newman. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Aye.
Kammerdeiner,
aye.
Rautenstrauch,
Aye.
Mileham,
aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 2 by Councilmember Mileham. Resolved that the bills be allowed as audited.
Do we have a second? I'll second. Comments or
Second, Madam
questions?
President.
I beat you to it, Mr. Newman.
Oh, didn't hear you. Sorry.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Aye.
Kammerdeiner,
Aye.
Rautenstrauch,
Aye.
Mileham,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 3 by Councilmember Rautenstrauch. Whereas a special events application was received by the city clerk from Roswell Park Alliance Foundation, and whereas the application was reviewed and commented on by all appropriate department heads to ensure the safety and well-being of our residents, and whereas all details of the above named event must be coordinated with Police Captain Fred Foles and the event chairperson, now therefore it be resolved that permission is granted to Roswell Park Alliance Foundation to hold the Ride for Roswell Saturday, August 7th, 2021 at 7 a.m. and be it further resolved that any overtime that is incurred during the event will be paid for by the Roswell Park Alliance Foundation, and be it further resolved that a certificate of insurance naming the city of Tonawanda as additionally insured be filed with the city clerk no later than July 31st, 2021.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll take it, Madam President.
Second by Ms. Kammerdeiner. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Aye.
Kammerdeiner,
Aye.
Rautenstrauch,
Aye.
Mileham,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 4 by the council, seconded by the council. Whereas the rules and orders of the government and procedures of the Common Council of the City of Tonawanda for the years 2020 to 2021 state the following. Number 18 indicates all readings of the resolutions that are provided in the written agenda at council meetings be waived unless requested to be read by a member of the Common Council or the public attending. Every motion or resolution may be withdrawn at any time before decision, commitment, or amendment by majority consent. Whereas the agenda is prepared in advance and made available to the public through the City of Tonawanda website, and whereas due to the pandemic, the Common Council began holding the council meetings on Zoom, and whereas the Common Council felt it would be beneficial to the public if the resolutions were read, now therefore it be resolved from this meeting forward that all the resolutions that are provided in the written agenda at council meetings will be read unless requested to be waived by a member of the Common Council or the public attending, and that the rules and orders be amended to provide for the same.
Okay, seconded by the council. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Aye.
Kammerdeiner,
Aye.
Rautenstrauch,
Aye.
Mileham,
Aye.
Cook.
Aye. Declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 5 by the council, seconded by the council. Resolved that this Common Council adopt the general fund, water fund, and sewer fund operating budgets for the fiscal year commencing January 1st, 2021, making appropriations to conduct city government, and further be it resolved that the budgets that were presented at the public hearing on November 3rd, 2020 are hereby adopted as amended and revised, and that the several amounts as set forth be and are hereby appropriated for the objects and purposes specified in 2021 operating budgets and the capital plans for the years 2021 through 2025 on file in the office of the city clerk. Total general fund budget, property tax levy, the total water fund budget, and total sewer fund budgets are as per the agenda.
Comments or questions?
Madam President, if I may make a couple comments?
Yes, of course. Rautenstrauch.
Thank you. In the informal, I kind of commented on this. I just wanted to reiterate it in the formal so it goes down on record as well. There's questions and concerns regarding an article that went out and how some of these cuts were applied from our Parks Director in regards to the Assistant Lead Director, Kelly. I just want to reiterate that was not cut per se from the entire budget. This doesn't call for the cut, rather it puts her salary line into a contingency fund with the hopes that if things get better with COVID, if her duties are needed, we can bring her back. I just want to make a point of that. The intention isn't to cut it, but to have a contingency to bring her back if needed, but also to be able to cut it if need be, if things go sideways with the second wave, with the pandemic, or with state aid or anything else. We need to make precautions for this. Overall, we originally talked about an ABC budget. And our goal, as I presented it and we're all agreeing on, is it was a better idea to maybe incorporate contingencies in these AB budgets. So if this does go wrong, we can implement them at the time. Secondly, I really do want to address the freezes that we've looked at for the department heads. I think it's important to say, I mean, myself, and I think all of us, it pains me to put this on the department heads. These raise freezes are not a reflection on the amazing job that you've done. We appreciate what you've done over the course of the year. All of us as liaisons have worked with with these people, and they've done an amazing job to get us through the pandemic. And I need to reiterate, they've saved jobs, they've maintained services, and they've kept our workers healthy. Our city workers owe the department heads a debt of gratitude for, maintaining their jobs and keeping us moving forward with this. For that, I think we all appreciate it. When we're looking at this, as of this year, with the cuts in sales tax, the reduced amount of state aid, I mean, an optimistic side after we've made the cuts this year and things have turned back around is maybe $700,000 that we're going to absorb by the general fund. To this point, even with the cuts, we haven't had any concessions by any of the union members. Pay cuts, no pay into insurance, any of these things haven't been negotiated and moved forward with. Contracts require that we continue with the pay increases through the next year. If it was up to us, we'd try to find a place to make those cuts. But as it stands, there isn't. So, I just want to get the message to the department heads that we appreciate what you've done. We think you've done a great job. This isn't a reflection on what you've done. It's the unfortunate part as we deal with in private industry. Sometimes the raises don't come that year because we're trying to do better by the company and hope we can right the ship. And I'm asking that they stick with us and keep trudging along, and hopefully that we can right the ship over the next year. Things get better and we can kind of get back to normal. And that's really it. Again, just expressing my gratitude to our department heads for doing what they're doing, and just asking that they stick with us and continue to do the great job that they've done, and that this isn't a reflection on the job that you've done. Thank you, Madam President.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rautenstrauch. Any other comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Aye.
Kammerdeiner,
Aye.
Rautenstrauch.
Aye.
Mileham,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted. Now we'll take comments by the public following the resolutions. If you wish to address the council, please unmute yourself. Any comments or questions by the public? Okay, last call. Any comments or questions by the public? Okay, Mr. Newman.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to acknowledge when our very own Lieutenant Tim Stewart was named the Exchange Club of the Tonawonda's Police Officer of the Year. That's great work. I've known Tim Stewart for probably close to 40 years. I can consider him a friend, and I'm honored to acknowledge his award. He'll be retiring this year coming up, and that's going to suck, but he's a great police officer, great friend, great man, great father, great grandfather. So it's a great award. I'm proud of him. That's all I have, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Newman. Ms. Kammerdeiner.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to let everybody know that It's a Wonderful Life has been canceled for this year, which was supposed to be scheduled for December 4th, due to the rising cases of the COVID-19 numbers. However, they are still doing the light pole decorating. And if you wanted to get a hold of or do a poll, reach out to Billigan's Restaurant for more information. They'll be more than happy to give it to you. They are also still doing the toy drive, which for the Salvation Army. So what will happen is there's going to be bins at some of the Main Street businesses as well as City Hall, starting November 25th for 2 weeks. Once those toys are collected, they will be sent over to the Salvation Army for the children in the city of Tonawanda. Also, just a short little reminder, if you need that unique gift for someone special that they're hard to buy for and you want to shop local, November 28th is Shop Small Business Day. So get out there and spend some cash if you have it. Then the other thing that I just wanted to touch on too is with Thanksgiving approaching, you know, family means a ton to me. Unfortunately, this year it's going to be a little difficult. We've all decided that we're going to stay in our own homes to celebrate that. But what saddens me the most is all of our emergency personnel, whether it be our nurses, our doctors, our firemen, our policemen, they don't get the day off. They're still active duty. They're still going into work every day. So just say an extra prayer for them, you know, on Thanksgiving Day, and wish them well. You know, and as far as the budget goes, I just want to touch base on it. You know, I feel Sean's sentiments. Sorry, guys. The dog is driving me crazy. It was very painstaking to go through it, knowing what we know, dealing with the pandemic that currently has affected every single one of us in one way, form, or another. I don't want to see any of our department heads take it to heart. You know, you deserve your pay raise. Unfortunately, it's not something that we can do at this time. So please stick with us. I promise you that, you know, hopefully next year's budget will be a little bit better, a little bit easier on everybody. We as your council representatives have really, you know, spent hours going over this, trying to figure it out so that our residents don't have to have a huge property tax increase. You know, we all pay taxes just as well as you do, so it hurts us just as bad. So with that, Madam President, happy Thanksgiving. Please stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kammerdeiner. Mr. Rautenstrauch.
Thank you. I just want to touch again. Congratulations to Lieutenant Tim Stewart. It's a great achievement, and it's great to hear that you made this. It's sad that we'll be losing him this year with the retirement, as Tom mentioned. I do want to just also thank Chuck Stewart, the mayor's assistant, for your help in expediting the situation with the electricity loss in Elmwood Park. Thanks to National Grid for working with us to making this somewhat quicker resolution on this. I do want to touch base on the fact that perhaps some of this could have been preventable. Just want to tell our residents to, if you have issues with trees, to please keep bringing it up. I know a lot of people have been vocal about it. Please reach out to us, your council people, so we can advocate for you on behalf to National Grid. Hopefully we won't have to suffer through this again. I know Elmwood Park was the only one that suffered through it, but I know over the past few years we've had issues here and there. I've had other concerns and questions from residents, asking about when are they going to trim the trees around the lines, that they're concerned about it. We don't want to have another October storm situation. We realized an outage. Hopefully we can prevent some other ones. Please reach out to me. Please reach out to National Grid. Reach out to the mayor's office and let us know your situation. Again, I can't say enough. Thank you, everybody, for your work on the budget. Thank you to the department heads for the amazing work that you've done, and all of our workers in the city of Tonawanda. All of you are appreciated. I'm glad everybody's safe, able to continue to work, and able to maintain our services. And with that, I'll end with happy Thanksgiving to all. Hope everybody stay safe and stay healthy.
Thank you, Mr. Rautenstrauch. Mr. Mileham.
Thank you. Without risking sounding like a broken record and repeating everybody, I'd like to thank Lieutenant Stewart, obviously, for his incredible service. That award is really really says something to the character of person that he is. And so many times you forget just how great our service providers are, and our police, fire department, DPW. It's just incredible the wealth of great people we have in this city. I'd like to thank the council again. It was a pleasure working on the budget this year. I think we all hoped when it began and we saw what the tax increase was coming in as, that we were going to be able to cut it at least in half. But I think what we've done is kind of ensured that we're a little bit more flexible for the future, for the near future and the more distant future, for things that we don't know that could be coming or what is coming. So I think it puts us in a good position. And I echo the same sentiments for the department heads. it really is heartfelt. Thank you. And I'm sorry that we couldn't provide the raises this year. Other than that, I hope everybody has a very healthy Thanksgiving. I hope that you can manage it socially distanced or Zoomed or Google Meeted. I don't know how you pluralize Google Meet. But do what you can for your neighbor. And I hope everybody that's watching has a very healthy holiday. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mileham. Mayor?
Thank you, Madam President. Just to piggyback on what Councilperson Kammerdeiner said, the bin for the Salvation Army will be located right inside the foyer before you have to go through the metal detector. So this way, we're not overly risking exposing any City Hall staff, the court security, or the residents coming in to drop off a present. Our New Year's Eve celebration, unfortunately, is going to be canceled. And just like Councilperson Kammerdeiner said, hopefully next year we'll be able to do it bigger and better. The lighting of Clinton Park is still going to happen. It just won't be the normal lighting with Santa. Santa is in quarantine until Christmas Eve per Mrs. Claus orders. I want to catch him getting coronavirus before he's got to deliver presents. So, Clinton Park will be lit up for Christmas, and we just won't have the flipping of the switch and everything else surrounding it, unfortunately. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the budget. This is probably, I know, the toughest budget for me to kind of put together since I've been mayor, and probably one of the toughest budgets the city has had to put together just because of all of the unknowns. And we're hoping that all of the worst case scenarios don't happen. But unfortunately, we have to plan for worst case because we lived worst case for many months this year. So I want to thank Councilman Rautenstrauch for coming to me with the idea of putting lines in contingency. I know it adds a layer to the council, a responsibility to the council to kind of give a go whether or not those funds are spent. But this is what we all signed up for when we decided to run for office. So good job by him, good job by everybody on putting forth a budget that I think we can all get behind, and hopefully won't have to tweak too much moving forward. And speaking of a rough few months, about a month ago, I kind of talked about us not ending up where we were back in March and April. And the numbers that I'm seeing, we're heading right back there. And, there's one thing you can do, and that's wear a mask. Something that's so simple, very inexpensive, and I think we all can nip away at those numbers as long as everybody's wearing a mask, socially distance, wash your hands, and make sure you're not putting yourself in public settings where you're within 6 feet or compromised. So and last but certainly not least, I know this Thanksgiving isn't what we all kind of envisioned. It surely isn't what the Thanksgiving that we envisioned that we had last year. But it doesn't mean that because we can have the family dinners that we don't have a lot to be thankful for. If your family has not been touched in one way or another by COVID, you have a lot to be thankful for. So however you are spending your Thanksgiving this year, please have a happy, safe, and meaningful Thanksgiving. And thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mayor. One of the downfalls of going last is everybody said it. So without sounding like a broken record, I do want to thank Lieutenant Stewart for his continued service to our city. And this certainly is a well-deserved recognition. Tonight, you saw that the council unanimously adopted this budget. And just to give everybody a background, Mayor's right, this was not an easy budget. And, certainly there's a lot of variables that are unpredictable. This council met every Tuesday since we received the mayor's budget, and we chipped away at it. And, kudos to everybody from the department heads, the mayor, his office, Bill, shout out to our city treasurer who's driving home on his anniversary. So, this was a team effort, and it was important that this was unanimous. And, ultimately, with this contingency line, there's some flexibility there. But again, we have some variables that are unknown, and, if the second wave is anything like the first, we'll certainly have some tough decisions to make. The governor is expected to speak tomorrow, so I implore everybody to, listen in, tune in, and do your part to flatten the curve. I want to thank also TOPS. Yesterday, they had donated 125 turkeys to organizations right in our community, the VVA Food Pantry, the St. Francis Food Pantry, as well as Warmth for Hungry Hearts. This is their 7th year of doing this, and I know these organizations are extremely grateful to be recipients of these donations, and these donations stay right here in our community. This past weekend, it was the first time in a little over 15 years that Lindsay's Legacy wasn't held in the city of Tonawanda. So I know they'll be back next year. There were some residents that actually ran the route, walked the route. So I want to thank the family, Lindsay's Legacy, all the organizers. I know they made a tough decision, but they'll certainly be back next year. And, echo the sentiments from my colleagues and the mayor. I wish you all a happy and healthy Thanksgiving, and please wear a mask. Do your part and wear a mask. With that said, I'm going to make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I'll second, Madam President.
Second by Mr. Rautenstrauch. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Have a great night, everybody.
Good night, guys.
Take care, guys.
Thanksgiving all.
Bye, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving all.
Ending the call right now. Thanks everyone for attending.
Good night, Billy Bob.
Hey.
Thanks, Jim.